Hello everyone and welcome back to another video, and in this lesson we'll be taking a look at the Gutenberg editor in the posts section. Now it's important that you use the 2021 theme to follow us in this section so that we all have the same dashboard and all the same WordPress options to work with. So without further ado, let's dive right into it. So first here, we're gonna navigate here to our posts section here, okay? Actually, before we dive straight into the posts, I just want to briefly give you an introduction about what Gutenberg is, how we're going to use it, and just a little bit more context about this section. So in this video, we'll take a look at how to create content using the Gutenberg blocks. But something I want you to remember is that the editor that we're using for our posts, so the Gutenberg editor for our posts, is actually the same editor for our pages as well. So if I click on add a new post, here we're brought to the Gutenberg editor. If I go back and I add a new page, we're also brought back to the Gutenberg editor. So all this to say is that once we learn how to use Gutenberg editor to make a post, we will effectively learn how to make a page as well. And we can talk about the differences between a post and a page in a future video. Now, I've mentioned that for our website, we'll be using a third-party editor, which is Elementor, and not be using the Gutenberg editor to build our website. So you might be asking yourself then, why are we learning this if we're not going to be using this editor to build our professional website? Well, for starters, it's important that we understand how to use the default WordPress editor in order for us to have a whole understanding of how WordPress works. Furthermore, a plugin is just an extension of the core functions of WordPress. As such, we'll still be using Gutenberg blocks to add some content in our website, especially if we're making a blog. It also comes down to personal preference. It could be that you have a personal preference to using the Gutenberg blocks editor than that of Elementor, and I want to expose you to each one so that you may decide for yourself which editor you want to specialize in and get better at. But regardless of what editor you choose, the outcome will be a functioning website. For our website, we're going to be using a mixture of Elementor and Gutenberg editor, so it's important that we know how to work with both. So briefly, what is the Gutenberg editor? Essentially, the Gutenberg editor is a visual block style editor where we can create our web pages using blocks of content here in order to build our website. So to actually make a post, we have to go here and click on the add new post, which can be found in the post section. And then we're brought to the Gutenberg editor straight away. Now, the first thing that you can notice when you navigate to the Gutenberg editor is that you lose the left-hand menu. But don't worry, as all you have to do to get the menu back is to hit on the triple dots that you see here on the top right, and then toggle the full screen mode. And that's how you can get the left-hand side back here. And if you still want more space, you can collapse the menu here, still have the options available to you here, and have the left-hand menu still present. So briefly, what's a post? A post is in essence a block of content. In this content, you can include things like headings, paragraphs, media, and links, as well as a whole other range of elements. And similar to how I described the WordPress interface, the Gutenberg editor is also divided into three main parts as well. You have the top bar here, you have the content area here, and then you have the right-hand menu here, which are the settings. Now, if your screen looks different from mine, it most likely means that you have a different theme installed. Remember, for this section, we're using the 2021 theme. The 2021 theme, which is here. And I'll show you that if I add a new theme, like the 2024 theme, we're going to change the content area that we'll be working with. Or I can do the 2020 theme as well. Don't matter. Activate. And I'll show you when I add a new post, we see that the content area that we're working with is different. So make sure you have the 2021 theme activated. Okay, so now that we have the 2021 theme, let's go ahead and create our first post. So first, let's quickly see how we can create a post. So I can quickly add a title and some text just by selecting the title here and then writing a title. So how to master SEO. And then I can immediately add some text by typing down here, just whatever I want. So lorem ipsum text. Or something I like to do is I like to use ChatGPT. Create some I can use ChatGPT to just make some dummy data that I can add in the post, like so. And this is as simple as a post can go. So now we're going to actually publish this post. And the way we do that is by clicking the publish button. Now, clicking once on the publish button, you get this pop-up menu. And you'll see that WordPress is giving us some additional information about our post before publishing. For example, the first thing we have is the visibility that lets us control how the post is viewed. It can be public to everyone, private, which means only visible to admins and editors, or it could even be password protected. We're going to keep it as public. You also have the publish section, which gives you the time the post will be published. So you can actually schedule your posts here with the dates and the time. We're going to leave it on now, which is going to be immediate. Next, you have the ability to add tags to your posts, as well as categories to your posts. We're going to keep everything as default, and we're going to publish the post that we have by clicking on the publish button again. And after publishing, you can click on the view post button to view the post in the front end. So we'll click on that, and voila, we've officially created our first post. Now, before we go back to add more content to the post, I want to show you what's all the additional information that's been added to our page. When I mean additional information, I'm talking about this up here, which is actually our header, and this information down here. So a comment section, some metadata here. And then here we have a footer. Now, we didn't create any of this. This was automatically introduced by the 2021 theme. The only thing that we introduced was a title and some text here. So I wanted to have a little chat about where our content goes when you make a post. When using the Gutenberg editor, when we're creating posts, effectively what we're controlling is the middle section here with our Gutenberg blocks. Above it is the header, which is determined by our theme. So if you want to actually customize the header, we actually have to go through a different section within the theme to actually edit the content that's displayed there. But when we're working on Gutenberg blocks, it's in the middle section of our website. The same can be said with the footer. The footer is controlled by the theme that you're using. So the layout of the header and the footer is determined by the theme. Now, sometimes themes support a sidebar that would go here to the right-hand side, which is also going to be using the Gutenberg editor with something called widgets, okay? That's how you would populate the sidebar with some information like latest posts, latest comments, etc. But effectively, the header, the footer, and the sidebar is determined by the theme that you're using. And the Gutenberg blocks is effectively what's going in the middle of your web page here. And I can show you that. As we can see, this is the middle section here that we have, how to master SEO. This is the only two contents that we've added. The header is up here, populated for us. Metadata below, populated for us. Comment section, populated for us by the theme. Footer as well, determined by the theme. In this case, we don't have a sidebar. So basically, in order to target the header, the footer, and the sidebar, we're going to need to actually go through a different section of WordPress to actually access it. The beauty with working with Elementor is that you can effectively add anything you want all in one place without needing to go to different sections of the platform. But we'll take a look at Elementor in a future video. For now, let's go back and add more content to our first post.